Today, I want to introduce you to a fascinating book, which I've tentatively translated as The Wisdom of Wolves. While previous philosophical, biographical, or psychological works we've explored often revolve around humans, this book focuses on a special subject: wolves. As you read it, you'll be surprised to find that the creature popular culture once depicted as dark, bloodthirsty, and cruel is, in fact, a philosopher of the wild. Their simple yet powerful way of life, rich in emotion and compassion, along with their principles, can teach us invaluable lessons about how to live, raise children, communicate, and lead. In truth, amidst the stressful, suffocating, uncertain, and distracting urban lives humans lead today, these beings from nature can offer a soothing power for the soul and a source of inspiration for survival. The author of this book, Towery, was once a stable, high-earning lawyer. But one day, while engaged in a courtroom battle, a thought suddenly struck her. Why do I spend all day dealing with the deceitful, complex games of my profession, constantly arguing and calculating with others? Is this all my life amounts to? So, she decided to abandon this coveted career and applied to be an intern at a wolf sanctuary in Indiana. Afterward, she embarked on a long, arduous journey to the wilderness of Minnesota, where she had intimate encounters with wild wolves. After countless valuable experiences in the wild, Towery compiled the stories of wolves and the philosophies she learned and felt from them into this very book. It is hoped that this book will be like a gift from nature, a mirror reflecting your soul, helping us not only know wolves through their howls in the wild night, but also to ask ourselves, what can I learn from these wolves, these philosophical friends of the wild? Learning to nurture family love and raise children from wolves. Have you ever wondered why, among countless animals, dogs became humanity's closest companions? According to archaeological and genetic studies, between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago, humans chose to domesticate wolves, not apes or monkeys, even though those species were far more intelligent. This is because wolves possess high emotional intelligence, and above all, they live with great affection, prioritizing family and community over self-interest. Over thousands of years of domestication, the selected wolf breeds evolved into the dogs we know today. The author once observed a wolf pack living together and noticed an atmosphere of harmony, relaxation, and abundant love among them. When not hunting, the wolf pups frolicked everywhere, playing with their parents, siblings, and even their aunts and uncles within the pack. Despite their busy lives, adult wolves always made time for their young. Each day, they would play with their pups, even deliberately losing to make the little ones happy and more confident. This is a subtle and skillful method of education. It reminds me of the advice in the book, "Busy dads can still be good dads." Play with your children, as it's the best way to inspire them and build their confidence. This method of raising children with love and proximity, as wolves do, is something many of us humans haven't quite mastered. Even more remarkably, caring for the young isn't just the responsibility of the wolf parents, but of the entire pack. Pups grow up embraced by the loving energy of a collective, always having their family and community beside them. This very upbringing nurtures wolves with a strong yet deeply affectionate and compassionate nature. Wolves are, in essence, creatures who truly understand what love means. They are always ready to sacrifice themselves for their families. There's a deeply moving story about a wolf pack in the Lamar Valley. One time, an adult female wolf in the pack was attacked by another group of wolves called the Mollies. As she was surrounded and in grave danger, a young 2-year-old female wolf didn't hesitate to charge directly into the fray. This young wolf knew she was the quickest in the pack and knew the valley's every nook and cranny by heart. She used this advantage to distract the entire Molly's pack, allowing her packmate to retreat to safety. In the end, both returned unharmed. This is how wolf packs demonstrate their spirit of unity and self-sacrifice for one another. In some more brutal situations, wolves have truly sacrificed themselves, using their own bodies to protect their kin and resting forever in their motherland. These actions are not driven by mere survival instinct, but are testament to the profound affection and noble self-sacrifice of wolves. Within the greater wolf family, wolves always live together in strong bonds and respect. This is largely due to the clear and consistent education among pack members. The author once observed a scene. A wolf pack was moving into the forest. over a dozen adult wolves walked ahead in serious, orderly fashion. Behind them, a young pup, engrossed in play, frolicked, and ambled, completely out of sync with the rest of the pack. The first time, no one in the pack said anything. They all simply stopped and waited for it. When the pup continued to play and lag, the entire pack patiently stopped again. But by the third time, seeing that the pup refused to change, all the adult wolves quietly turned their backs and left in unison. The pup, panicked, frantically chased after them, and never again did it make everyone wait. This method of wolf education truly makes us ponder. In many human families, parents often lack agreement on how to raise their children, always wanting to control everything. The father might be overly lenient, indulging the child, or vice versa. Grandparents might secretly undermine rules, like sneaking snacks to grandchildren despite the nutritional guidelines set by the parents. This inconsistency creates loopholes for children to exploit. When one person doesn't fulfill their wishes, children will seek out another to get what they want. Clearly, humans also need to learn to be a unified entity within a family, just like wolves. Unity and patience in every act of education are achieved not through commands or scolding, but through consistency and solidarity. Furthermore, wolves astound humans with their ability to nurture affection through bonding rituals. Every day, the entire pack, from adult wolves to pups, dedicates time to grooming and licking each other, basking in the sun together, and playing. These seemingly simple actions are, in fact, a special language of love that strengthens their trust and conveys affection to one another. Notably, the image of wolves howling together on high mountaintops during a full moon, often associated with eerie mystique, is actually a sacred ritual signifying a profound sense of family. It's a moment when the entire pack harmonizes their voices in a shared activity, creating a synchronicity between body and soul. Such rituals are the invisible threads that connect, nurture, and maintain unity within the wolf pack. In contrast, modern human society is gradually losing the power of ritual. Unlike wolves, who consistently engage in daily ritualistic behaviors to show care, many people today only interact through fleeting messages. A 2022 Google survey revealed that 80% of conversations between parents and children in urban areas typically end within 3 minutes, revolving around questions like, "Did you pay tuition?" or "How were your exam scores?" Meanwhile, deeper bonding rituals, such as a morning kiss, reading together before bed, or dedicating 10 minutes to non-judgmental listening, are rarely seen. Consequently, many families today live under the same roof but are emotionally miles apart. Or consider holiday festivals. In the past, they were special occasions filled with many rituals and customs that humanity developed to strengthen family and community bonds. From cleaning homes together, making traditional cakes, lighting incense for ancestors, and giving lucky money to children, to visiting neighbors and relatives before the new year. Today, many perceive these holidays merely as formalities, heavy responsibilities, opportunities for showing off, or excuses to escape. According to a 2023 study by the Hanoi Institute of Sociology, up to 65% of young people feel Tet, Lunar New Year, is a source of pressure because they have to visit bosses or partners instead of being with loved ones. In fact, nowadays, when the word ritual is mentioned, many immediately associate it with restriction, formality, or even coercion. But if we can learn from wolves, creating genuine rituals from the heart, everything would be different. There's no need to visit dozens of people for New Year's greetings merely out of a sense of duty. We can start with a meaningful evening where the whole family sits down to chat, sharing stories from the past year. Listen to each other with full presence, without judgment, without constantly taking photos of food or jostling through spring festivals just to post on social media. We can dedicate time to truly live in the moment with loved ones. Each day, cherish shared meals. Don't let everyone sit in a corner, glued to a phone, with a separate bowl of rice. Numerous social studies have shown that families who maintain the habit of eating dinner together at least 4 times a week have a 30% lower divorce rate, and their children experience 40% fewer psychological problems. Let's sit together, savor every flavor prepared by a loved one's hands, feel the love present in every dish, and realize that we are loved, nurtured, and truly fulfilled. From that, a sincere sense of gratitude will well up deep within you, a subtle and enduring emotion that can nourish all relationships. These are the truly simple rituals that touch the depths of our emotions, making us capable of greater love and stronger bonds. In essence, rituals don't need to be elaborate. They only need to be genuine, consistent, and awaken our sense of belonging and harmony. Just like the message in the movie, When Life Gives You Quinces, which states that happiness lies not in material possessions, but in the moments we share. Learning leadership from wolves. Previously, we mistakenly believed that animals vied for leadership positions solely for mating rights. However, this observation is only true for wolves in captivity. Wolf packs in zoos do not reflect the true nature of wolves in the wild. When space is limited, resources become scarce, and wolves are forced to become more aggressive to compete for survival. This creates a rigid hierarchy where the strongest dominates. Similar to the big fish eats little fish model humans often apply in modern survival environments. However, in the wild, the alpha wolf is not necessarily the strongest. On the contrary, the strongest often bears the responsibility of leading the way and undertaking the heaviest tasks to preserve the alpha wolf's energy. In wolves, leadership is often not held entirely by a single wolf, but by a loyal, experienced, and highly responsible pair. Both lead the entire pack, and significantly, final decisions are often deferred to the female wolf. Why? Because the feminine essence in wolves grants them calmness, decisive problem-solving, and a lack of aggressive conquest, coupled with abundant tolerance. This is also evidenced by the fact that wolves often harmonize more easily with women, as women share similar traits. A wolf gains the trust and respect of the pack to assume leadership when it possesses two core qualities: courage and tolerance. First, courage, but it must be courage paired with wisdom to uphold the core principle of altruism for the benefit of the entire pack. Only with such courage, heart, and mind can the alpha wolf make decisive choices in dangerous and difficult situations, knowing when to advance and when to let go of greed and stop at the right moment. There was an instance when a wolf pack chased a deer to the edge of a cliff. The deer provoked the pack, ready to jump into the abyss. If aggressive instincts flared, the wolves would pursue it to the very end. But the alpha wolf immediately stopped, signaling an end to the hunt, understanding that continuing could endanger the entire pack. This decision reflects the alpha wolf's sophisticated leadership thinking, always prioritizing the collective safety over individual ego. Next is tolerance. This is often an underestimated quality in leadership, but is the root of sustainability. The alpha wolf's tolerance is demonstrated in three aspects. Firstly, towards pack members, the alpha wolf always treats others with a giving heart. For example, the story of the mighty Wolf 21, a powerful leader. Yet, Wolf 21 was very gentle with its family. After every hunt, it would always let other pack members eat first while it rested. Because of this, all members loved and respected Wolf 21. Secondly, in resolving conflicts, the alpha wolf does not use power or force to suppress disagreements. Instead, it uses emotional intelligence to listen, understand, and de-escalate tension. Leading with empathy is also an art of the wolf. It is very rare for an alpha wolf to kill an enemy. As long as the opponent accepts defeat, the alpha wolf will let them go. For wolves, victory is not about elimination, but about maintaining order and balance. It is thanks to these qualities that the alpha wolf consistently builds its credibility. The author once shared an experience from her early days as a guide at Yellowstone National Park. In the beginning, she would often ask guests where they wanted to go, and immediately the group would erupt in chaotic arguments. But later, she changed her approach, confidently introducing herself and readily setting the most suitable itinerary for visitors. She would say, "I am the expert. I know this area very well, and this is the route I recommend for you all." From then on, everything went smoothly. People trusted, respected her, and frequently sought her advice. That was the leadership lesson she learned from the alpha wolf, building credibility not through power, but through self-confidence, courage, and the ability to give. Learning to live well in the present from wolves. What does it truly mean to live well in the present? Perhaps we can draw inspiration from observing the wolf's way of survival. Firstly, wolves always express what they want to say with clarity. Wolves possess numerous communication techniques. It's been cataloged that their howls alone can be categorized into 21 different types. But critically, all their expressions are clear and simple. In contrast, humans often get entangled in conflicts because language is overly complex, making it difficult to express truth and desires directly. Furthermore, most people only wish to express emotions and assert their ego through anger, complaints, blame, and accusations. For wolves, if they're happy, they're happy. If not, they're not. If they agree, they agree. If not, they don't. They don't have phrases like "it depends," "maybe," or "why are you like that?" Therefore, information between wolves is always conveyed with great precision. This is, first and foremost, the key to living authentically in the present, learning to express your true thoughts. And secondly, wolves always know when they have enough. They only hunt what's needed for survival and do not slaughter needlessly. Wolves do not waste resources. They fully utilize food sources, for example, by cooperating with ravens to share carcasses. Ravens are incredibly intelligent creatures. They fly high, signal danger to wolves, warn them about poisonous carcasses, and call wolves when an animal's thick hide prevents them from eating. When sharing prey, a wolf never eats its fill before leaving some for the raven. Instead, they eat together. The connection between ravens and wolves has evolved beyond a symbiotic relationship into a beautiful friendship. The author once witnessed a wolf standing by the carcass of a raven for a very long time, appearing deeply saddened. It carried the raven everywhere, then brought it to a river and placed it in the icy water. The river was about to freeze, and the wolf intended to bury the raven in the water, but as soon as it released the bird, it seemed to sense something was wrong and immediately dipped its head into the water, picking the raven up again. Afterward, it wandered until it found a snow cave, dug it out, buried the raven there, and covered it with snow. In the pain of separation, the wolf led its friend to its final resting place. This is a moving story of friendship between a wolf and a raven. Some might argue that wolves are ferocious, capable of indiscriminately killing an entire flock of sheep, thus not knowing enough. But that's not the full picture. The author once spoke with a shepherd in America and asked him how he felt when wolves preyed on his sheep. The shepherd expressed deep regret, feeling he hadn't fulfilled his responsibility to protect his flock. He didn't blame the wolves because it was their natural instinct. The reason wolves kill so many sheep is that sheep are easy targets. When hunting deer, a wolf kills only one enough to eat. But when in a sheep pen, the wolf's predatory instinct is triggered. It bites and kills one sheep after another because they are easily dispatched. After killing, the wolf only takes one or two and leaves the rest. However, if shepherds protect their flocks better, wolves can even help protect them. One shepherd installed an electric fence around his sheep pen. When a wolf approached and received a shock, it established a territory outside the fence to deter all other wolves from coming near. Thus, this wolf unintentionally became a guardian for the flock. Wolves are not greedy and aggressive as many believe. On the contrary, knowing contentment and sharing is what wolves teach us about living lightly in the present. Thirdly, wolves never let anxiety consume the present. The author poses a thought-provoking question, a philosophy woven throughout the book. If you were a wolf, what would you do? Once, she had to fly from Germany to the US, but unfortunately, the weather was unstable that day. A volcanic eruption caused all flights to be canceled. This completely disrupted all her plans, which she had prepared for 6 months. She felt annoyed, disappointed, and utterly resentful. But as she calmed down, a question suddenly arose within her. If I were a wolf, what would I do? This question made her recall the days she observed wolves. She had never seen a wolf angry, agitated, or anxious, even when a hunt failed. Did you know? When wolves don't find prey, it means the entire pack, its whole family, will go hungry. Yet, wolves don't worry, they don't panic. Instead, they lie down to rest, allowing their bodies to merge with the earth in stillness. After that, they will try again. That moment helped the author release her psychological burden. If she were a wolf and her flight was canceled, she simply wouldn't go, she would just do other things. She immediately felt relieved and began to focus on tasks at home, like writing her book. After reading this book, I often think of that question and consider, have we humans, with our highly evolved brains, imprisoned ourselves in a glass cage of analysis? Meanwhile, wild wolves live in harmony with the principles of existence without possession. They fight fiercely, but without despair, serenely loving their family and community with primal, selfless instinct, silent as roots merging with the life force of Mother Earth. Perhaps progress has made us forget that true wisdom sometimes lies in the ability to cleanse away artificial complexities, the energies of negative thinking, to return to the purity of our original essence. In life, we cannot avoid misunderstandings, criticisms, failures, or moments when things don't go as desired. Sometimes we are dissatisfied with ourselves. In such moments, you can ask yourself, if I were a wolf, what would I do? Wolves do not hesitate, do not indulge in complex thoughts or suffering. They simply live joyfully and calmly in the present, striving their utmost to continue life with love. This is perhaps the most valuable lesson wolves can teach us, a lesson in the purity of existence.